We are going to Pet's Delight, which is a pet store in South Pasadena, California, and we're gonna try and find out where the puppies come from. Caps has already sent an investigator there, and what he found is that they claim they don't buy from puppy mills. So I'm gonna go there wired with a camera inside Pet's Delight, but a lot were from places in the Midwest. And that's usually a sign they're coming from puppy mills. I noticed some of them, it says they come from like Missouri or Iowa. Do you know, I mean, like, you know, they come from puppy mills, or do they come from,
I love when people say puppy mills.
So we started talking to the owner, and he said we had nothing to worry about.
These guys are certified breeders, USDA approved. Most of the USDA breeders, they're people's houses, so they do maybe 3 or 4 litters a year. No, they don't come from puppy mills.
So we asked to look at a puppy, and then asked for the name of the breeder.
Ray Yutzi.
But when I Googled Ray Yutzi, I found out he runs a puppy mill where there have been animal welfare violations. Ray and Melinda Yutzi of Princeton, Missouri were cited for violations of the Animal Welfare Act on their most recent inspection report and had 112 breeding dogs and 78 puppies at their mill at the time. Despite what the owner told us, the dog clearly came from a puppy mill.
Today, the City Council approved a new law that bans stores from selling dogs and cats unless the animals are rescued or come from a shelter.
They're crated up and kept pregnant year-round, never getting exercise or a human touch. Now the feds are cracking down on puppy mills, blaming the USDA for failing to protect these neglected dogs. Lou Parker here now with an exclusive undercover investigation of puppy mills.
Well, Micah, earlier, remember I told you that it's believed that 99% of dogs that are in pet stores come from puppy mills, and that could be the case at a pet store in your neighborhood. Dog store puppies like these are perfect. But we're unveiling a different story. Dogs in cages, sick dogs. Some of these animals likely living their entire lives in small wire enclosures with barely enough room to turn around. Rows of outdoor cages, overcrowded with dogs, unsanitary conditions, describing it as deplorable. Investigators claim the females are kept pregnant year-round, pumping out puppies until they can no longer produce, some giving birth to over 100 pups in a lifetime. While these large breeding facilities say otherwise, it is widely believed the dogs get no exercise, no human interaction, and many never get the chance to walk on grass. In a new report released this week, the USDA admits its lax enforcement is allowing inhumane treatment of dogs at breeding facilities across the country. These commercial, money-driven breeding facilities are known as puppy mills. It's estimated there are 10,000 in the U.S. alone, many located in the Midwest, and many supplying small pups to pet stores across the country, including right here in California.
Under the Animal Welfare Act and the USDA regulations, dogs may be caged 24 hours a day for their entire life. Dogs may be confined to a cage only 6 inches larger than their bodies. Dogs may be confined up to 12 dogs per cage. Dogs may be kept in stacked cages with wire floors. There is no limit to the number of dogs on the premises. Human interaction with the animals is not required. Breeding females at the first heat cycle and at every heat cycle is permissible. Mothers that can no longer reproduce may be destroyed.
We have done a great deal of work on puppy mills and actually connected puppy mills to pet stores, not only in this area but all across the nation. Animals are subjected to a life of incessant breeding. They're confined, exposed to the elements, and they're churning out puppies for the pet trade. At the same time that animal shelters and rescue groups are struggling to contend with the problem of too many animals for too little space. So what you're doing is attempting to harmonize the situation by keeping the puppy mill dogs out of the community and therefore encouraging adoption.
The fact is, commercial breeding mills are in business to supply pet stores. Responsible breeders don't sell to pet stores, and that pledge, never sell a puppy to a pet store, can be found in every reputable breeder's code of ethics.
This is not just a humane issue. This is a consumer protection issue. So this ordinance would not preclude pet stores from staying in business. That's why more than 100 communities across the country have already enacted this ordinance. This ordinance is a fair, effective, and reasonable way to prevent an endless supply of poorly bred pets from being imported into the community so that consumers are protected and fewer animals will have to suffer in order to supply the retail pet trade, and to relieve the burden on local shelters and therefore the taxpayers who subsidize those shelters.
Most animals in pet stores come from puppy mills and other inhumane sources. Reputable breeders don't sell through puppy stores. So the best thing that we can do is ban them to encourage people to adopt. I'm really pleased that we're going to be moving this issue forward this morning.
Dramatic developments involving a breeder who has shipped countless sick dogs to local pet shops.
I ship my puppies everywhere, to New York and Florida and California.
Puppies with legs that would go through the cage flooring.
It's horrific. Cages are being scrubbed. It's very common for workers to just push and even throw the puppies aside roughly on the wire. A severely emaciated pregnant spaniel who was refused any veterinary care.
He was doing cesarean sections herself without anesthesia.
Chicken wire cages stacked on top of each other, so the dog's waste falls into the cage below.
They pull the heads back, and then they hammer sharp instruments down their throats to scar their vocal cords so they can't bark. That way they can have 500, 600 dogs in a barn, and no one knows. It's an industry of secrecy.
These guys are certified breeders, USDA approved. Most of the USDA breeders, they're people's houses, so they do maybe 3 or 4 litters a year. No, they don't come from puppy mills. I love when people say puppy mills.
This is a consumer protection issue for your residents. This horrific animal abuse and customer deception should not be allowed in South Pasadena. Please vote yes on passing a new ordinance that would ban the sale of commercially bred dogs, cats, and rabbits in South Pasadena. Your residents are asking you to please do what is right.